Hello guys, this is Ajay Kabadi from Sandbox Startups, and today you will be learning about Java Hipster, which is nothing but JHipster. And JHipster is something like a package of a whole the things. It's backed up with YEOMAN, Spring, AngularJS in one handy generator. When you generate this particular application, you will be having all these tools in one. So let's see what all the advantages of using JHipster, and for more information you can go to http://jhipster.github.io. So let's see what jhipster is all about and what the mess is all about. So about this presentation you will be learning what are the client and server side is all about, and it's nothing but development of modern web application development, where you, if you want to build an you can say e-commerce site or a blog site, or more of a building the relationship with the entities or the database. So it generally becomes easy using JHipster. So about modern web applications, whenever a people want to design a website or something like that, so there are lots of fragments involved in that one. So JHipster, for any end user, you can say they require a beautiful design and stop waiting for the pages to load, because if the pages gets takes a lot of time, there will be a lack of visibility and there will the customer satisfaction will be not be there. So the beautiful design is a must for the from the customer end, and the pages need to be loaded at the faster rate, and also the dynamic updates of the page fragment. So whenever you make some changes, and that's need to be done at the live server. And we for this modern web application, the latest technologies that we're gonna use: HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript. Then about the developer productivity, for every general information, for waiting for 1 minute for your application to deploy is not acceptable anymore, because you value for your time. So we need the right tools for this job, and you need every tools that you can aggregate. So instead of getting all those installs to be done and aggregating all the things for developing a modern web application, which takes us a lot of heck of a time, but JHipster solves all of the things, which comes up with all the requirements that you generally require in development of modern web application. So about the production ready software, so these modern websites should be able to handle huge number of concurrent users. So if we so that's the main thing, that from the if the users are more for your any site, like a consider e-commerce site that will be having more of the concurrent users, there must be a huge number of capacity to handle for that modern web application. And also the all using massive restful application which is hit your back end servers hard. So you got to have your robust RESTful application at your back end. So you need to create an wonderful web application. At last we need a robust, scalable, high performance servers to handle this scalable modern web application. So about these issues that we talked about, mainly we're going to focus on a beautiful front end with the latest HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript for the front end, and a robust and high quality backend with latest Java caching data access technologies, like more of you can use any data access technologies like PostgreSQL, MySQL, or any you are familiar with. And also MongoDB, if you can use, then you are good to go with your production, and all automatically is wired up. You don't need to worry about that, and with the security and performance in mind, an admin gets a full fledged of what all the security and performance with the mindset in my mind. He gets all the overview of that one. We will look into when we create an and more of a modern web application using Java Hipster, and a great developer tooling for a maximum productivity. So instead of wiring up all the things, you get a tools that is required for you to develop. And from the client side technologies, it uses YEOMAN, GULP, Browser, AngularJS, and Bootstrap. So let's see one by one like what it's all about. So about YEOMAN just it's an application generator. So hundreds of generators are available in that one. You can download through through the generators of YEOMAN, and mostly geared towards the JavaScript front-end applications. The top-rated generators have an excellent quality. So more of libraries are present. You can use these generators. So for this, we are using YoJFster to install our first modern web application. We will look more into this one when we create an application. So about the gulp is nothing but a JavaScript task runner. So just for editing, it's a form of a live editing in the background. So whenever there is a change in the code in the front end, that will be automatically live edited at your side. So we will look more into it also. So where whenever a code is changed, that automatically updates in your background, and for the production, it all will compress and optimize all your resources, compile your SAS code also. So gulp is more about a task runner with the live editing. And Bower is a package manager for your JavaScript assets. So you can search for it. You can install a number of JavaScript libraries. It provides huge number of libraries in Bower. So example, Bower install Angular, which installs all the necessary requirements or necessary packages of Angular, and you are good to go with that one. And about Karma is nothing but a runs unit test on your JavaScript code. So it works with Phantom.js, a headless browser. So it's very fast and you can run continuously in the background, which is more comfortable in using that one for the unit testing. And you can use that one as a Karma start, the source package name, and where this Karma is situated. So you can look into it. And you know all about the AngularJS, which is the most popular JavaScript framework from now on. The powerful, easy to learn, and data binding, form validation are like all out of the box. You can use anything. If you are familiar with AngularJS, then good. We will be looking in more into this one. So as an example, an input tag associated with an h1 tag. So whenever a name is associated with this one, automatically the hello name will be typed over here. So we'll look into more to this also whenever you create a modern web application in my next tutorial. And about Twitter Bootstrap, you already know like the Bootstrap is the CSS JavaScript framework for responsive web design apps. So CSS, HTML elements for all common usages, and also the tons of JavaScript components like menus, navbars, drop-downs, boxes, alerts. You can use that one. So a division tag with a class of alert success and a strong tag with a hello world in a particular division. And this is all about the client side, and we will look into more into the server side technologies. For the server side technologies, we use MAVEN, Spring MVC REST, Spring Data JPA, Netflix OSS. So for the Maven Gradle, the most popular, you can use one of the tools for building up your platform. So the well-known platforms are these two, Maven and the Gradle. So well-known predefined directories. So integration with the major IDEs, you can use Intel IDGA, which is an IDE, an integrated development environment for your building up your project. So and great plugin ecosystem, including a Spring Boot and YEOMAN for you. And about the Spring Boot is the de facto standard for Java apps. It's an IOC AOP abstraction to ease application coding, fast and lightweight and extremely powerful when needed. So out of the box configuration by Spring Boot, live reload for the application whenever there's changes to be made, the changes are to be changes are made at a live time. So about the Netflix OSS, you already know the Netflix OSS provides a great tools and frameworks for microservices, and there are the three parts: Eureka, a service register for load balancing and failover, and Zul proxy for dynamic routing, monitoring and security, and Ribbon software loading balancing for the services. And for the Liquibase, it's a database updates that is made easy, which loads whenever you load a Java Jhipster. So handles updating database schema, works great with Spring and JPA, needs a good understanding of database and ORM. So if you are comfortable in using the database, if you have worked before, then you are good in using this Liquibase for you. So the JPA, the standard ORM solution for Java, a Hibernate is used underneath. Very complete, impressive set of features. Still complex to understand for the newbies. If you are a newbie, you got to look into it and just give a glance like what all the documentation they provide. You can look through it and you can try to use this, and it will be more comfortable in editing your Java classes. So about the Spring Data JPA, adds an extra scantic sugar on your top of a JPA, which generates an JPA repositories automatically, removes a lot of a boilerplate code for you. So this is a particular example that you can look into. And about the MongoDB, which is a NoSQL format for scalabilities, an alternative to SQL database and JPA choice. So there are also a lot of you can, if you are familiar with MySQL, you can go in generating an MySQL database for you. So for the much more complex of having a more users kind of a thing, you can use MongoDB for you. And for the MongoDB, similar code, Spring Data MongoDB works. Spring has same as Spring JPA. So it's more easier for scalable purposes, more scalable and easy to use since it's a NoSQL format. And Cassandra is NoSQL for scalability, a second alternative to SQL database, and linear scalability and high availability, extreme performance and low latency for mission critical apps. So you can use Cassandra for if you are comfortable with using that one. So for the gate catching purposes, the JSTL looks into the catching also. So it provides an elastic catch for you. We can use Hazel cache and second level cache, which you can use one node or a multi-node for your Spring cachening purposes. So about the Spring security, bulletproof security framework, leading tool, widely used across all industries, secure URLs and Java code, works both with stateful and stateless cookies web application architecture. And about Spring MVC REST, a complete REST solution for you, a great Spring support and great testing support for you. And it's a theme leaf, more of a server-side templates. You can use the theme leaf templates for your building of a web application. Used when a single page application isn't enough. It replaces JSPs and JSTLs when outdated and deprecated. Great templates for web designers. And about the monitoring, Java takes care of monitoring also, giving all the specific requirements on your admin dashboard. So monitors the JVM app server, Spring Beans, Catch, and more. So you can use it. I can showcase you when I create a Jhipster application for you. JMX and a graphite reporting also will be covered in this particular monitoring session. And about the cloud deployment, so it's to the cloud. You can deploy to the AWS or any Windows Azure sites when you are completed with the full-fledged development of this one. So, but leading the cloud providers, you can say like Cloud Foundry, Heroku, and Amazon Web Services all provide a specific tooling and deployment options for you. So this is the thing you can use. So why Jvster? So we will come why this hype for you and why this is a hype and why people are getting used to JHipster. So there are lots of people using JHipster, like big technological companies like Intel, Google, they are all using this one. So let's look through it like why JHipster. So about the contributions are now, there are 23 contributors, number of stars, you can say low number of installations, and is growing rapidly. So why? Can Gulp and Maven be friends? Can AngularJS and MVC REST be friends? Can Netflix OSN? We can guarantee you that having everything working together smoothly with the security and catching and monitoring isn't very easy for you. So JSTOR makes everything just work together, which aggregates all the tooling platforms together, and JSTOR creates a complete working application with all of the technologies that require for the modern web application. You have a Docker configuration to run everything smoothly. So they have also the modules that can be used for your needs. So number of modules that the contributors for your JSTOR, having the much more modules you can download and can add the extensions for it. So but where's there's more. So there are a number of you can say like more of elements that you need to look into. So first focus on entity. Entity is nothing but just to create a database, you can say, or more of a, and creating a relationship to the other database, which automatically creates your REST MVP REST APIs for you. You can get the request, port the request, delete and put, and which is a sub generator to generate a complete GPA entity for you from the database to the Angulars. You don't need to write a complete core for that one, but the entity will take care of this one. So when if you want to create an entity, so just click just in command promote at your directory, you can click into your jhipster semicolon entity and your table name. And about the Import JDL. It's a sub generator to generate a complex entity model using JDL Studio. So Jhipster has a JDL Studio where you can classify your classes for your complete your model, which gives you a particular view of your diagram, so you can be clear of like, and you can make out what's the actual the JDL Studio is about. We will look into more into it when we clear out all these sections. So about the service, it's a sub-generator for the Spring Business Services and the languages. There is a sub-generator to add the languages and great support from the Spring Security, Ajax Endpoint Secured, Remember Me audits, and great monitoring screen using Matrix at the admin console for you. And that's not over it. So there's one more. You can use great support from the microservices and gateways for the Jhipster registry. There's a and the deployment process. You great support from the Docker. You can use Docker if you are familiar with additional Jhipster modules to add more features. As I talked about, there are lots of modules given are published by the contributors. You can use them to add the more features to your Java Jhipster application. So for the production ready, so whenever you publish into the production ready application, automatically optimizes and minification by gulp is done, and Docker compose for the sub generator to generate a Docker configurations, and also the sub generators deploying automatically to Cloud Foundry or Heroku and AWS. So let's go back and look into what JDL Studio is all about. So when we click on JDL Studio, so this is particular JDL stereotype. So there is an entity called as region and with an attribute name called as string, a country with a country name, a location and street address, postal code, city, state, and a department containing a department name and the number of tasks having a title and a description about the whole, and the employee who is working for that one, a first name, a last name, an email, a phone number, a date, salary and commission as per, and job, what's the job title and what's the minimum and max salary is, and job history and the languages that are applicable to that one, and the relationship. So let's consider, as you see, all the entities are defined over here, so having a relationship with one another. So every one-to-one relationship, since a country having a region has a table name, to look into it, a country has only one region and also a location has one country, and also the department contains to a location, and since the number of jobs can be completed by number of tasks, and one employee can complete many jobs, and one department can contain many employees. So it's basic overview of employee working for the particular jobs and the number of tasks given to him. So one manager, many managers can be an employee and suggested with an employee, and one-to-one relationship with a job history to the job, a job history to the department, a job history to the employee. So number of pagination rules that you require, and you can specify us at Angular suffix also. So this is the whole thing, and this is all it. This is the particular UML diagram that will be generated whenever a class and alls are generated. So you can considerably, you can see over here. So whenever some changes to be made for a country, consider you are making a country name hello, so automatically specifies as the UML entity for you. So you can look into that. You can there's give a clear picture like what all the UML is generated for you, and what the job history and all they are specified for you. So the number of employee with a job, so having a given task, and this job history contains a particular department and having an employees working for that one, and department is at a particular equation in a country and in a region. So this is particular more about a JJ today that they provide. Thank you guys, and we will look more into provide look into what how to create an JavaScript Jhipster web application using, and we will look into more examples in the Jhipster web application. Thank you guys for seeing. Thank you.